Ryan?
Oh, we're on there now. Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys, making some last-minute notes. Welcome to Android Coliseum number 27, Friday Night Hangout, guys. Glad you could tune in and join us. What better way to kick off the weekend than just chat with some good friends about Android topics that we all love and want to chat about. Anyways, it's May the 3rd, so we're a great way to kick off the weekend. Tomorrow being our big, nerdy, May the 4th, right? May the 4th be with you tomorrow. So let's get our nerd hats on and talk some Android. So I'll do some introductions. Let's start from, I think I always start from my left. Let's start from my right, which I think would be Tom. So go ahead, Tom.
Howdy.
Hello,
Right
everybody.
here at Android Call.
Sylvain here. I'm back. What
Yay.
else can I say? Yay, I'm so happy to be here.
Bathroom.
Yes, back in my dungeon downstairs.
There you go. Glad to have you back, Sylvain.
Thank you.
Myself, Ryan Moore, here, the one of the writers at the Android Coliseum. Go next to...
Next up, me, I guess. Mark here.
I'm
And
Cass.
last but not least...
I'm just going
All
to
right.
blank out for a moment.
Okay. She's got a new toy, the new S4. And she's probably going to go make sure it's all ready to show off today. So yes, for those of you who've been tuning in the past couple weeks, you've seen that we've been without Sylvain. So again, glad to have you back here, Sylvain. Now,
Thank
is this
you.
just back for the week, or are you back in for a
2
while
weeks.
yet, do you think?
So I'm here tonight
Awesome.
and next Friday.
Next Friday, and then he's back at work for a little while. So
That's
glad
right.
to have you back here, guys, and glad again to have everybody tuning in with us. So let's just dive into the agenda. For those of you who have never listened to one of our shows, again, just a reminder, there's a bunch of ways you can interact with us. You can interact with us on our Twitter handle, our Facebook. Just look up Android Coliseum. You can look us up on the YouTube account. If you're on Google Plus or on the Facebook and Twitter, etc., we put that out there. So you can watch our video and then comment on that. We're having Tom, I think, is taking over watching the comments on YouTube. I'll watch Twitter, and I think Sylvain has Google Plus. So everybody's watching a different portion of our social media. So again, if you guys have comments, by all means, please do so. We also have a link up for our agenda we're going to talk about. So if there's something you want to chat about, you can even chat within the Google Doc, which is a really cool. What they've added a new chat feature for that, and we like making fun of this. If you come in and you're not normally sharing the document, you come in as an anonymous. It used to be just anonymous 1, anonymous 2. Now you come in as anonymous Kraken, anonymous. What was the other one? We had Jackalope, we had Chinchilla. So kind of cool stuff. Again, we love just to hear from you guys and talk with us. After we're done this portion, what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to go ahead and open it up and let anybody come in. So for the next hour, it'll just be us, and we want to hear your comments. After the hour, we'll open up, turn off the on-air portion, and we'll just chat. So first discussions I wanted to get into is the poll. So one of the things I ask you guys every week is I like to sort of know who is it that I'm talking to. What goes on in your minds in terms of what devices do you like, what kind of features do you like, what apps are you using? Is it something we can use for our our app Coliseum as we get down to it? So this week I asked you a question of which skin wins, and the question here is, do you like TouchWiz? Do you like Sense? Do you like Stock? Do you like the Moto Blur? Do you like Timescape? Which apparently I made a mistake. Timescape is now actually called Experience Flow. All those different features, or was there a custom ROM you like preferred over the rest? So let's take a look here, and the results are resounding. Anybody want to hazard a guess?
Stock?
Stock it is. 80% of people are Stock fans. What was funny is as you read through it, everybody who kept saying Stock, and they had the most vigilant things to say about TouchWiz. Sorry, Cass. But yet, number 2 answer was TouchWiz.
I just want to apologize for my comments. I didn't mean to get all harsh.
Yes, I'm reporting some of
Oh,
the nasty
Mark.
words you said to your mom. But yeah, no, a lot of people made, they make their comments. And again, that's the thing about Android. We can be whatever it is we want to be in any style or any flavor or any fashion, right? What works for me does not work necessarily for you, and you can tweak it all you want. So it was just funny how, and we take that sort of fanboy up, and we just, not only do we tell us what was one we like, but we hate the other. They said a lot of bad things about TouchWiz, which I can sort of see, but at the same time, it serves a purpose, right? So, anyways, but at the end of the day, it was the number 2 pick, and like pretty much nothing else. So, a lot of people do like it. Okay, so that's the poll. I'll do a full article on Monday. But let's go on to it. The next new item that came around is something I really loved about telling anybody to get the new Jelly Bean update was you have to get Jelly Bean because if you're going to get it, you're going to get Google Now. And Google Now, I think, is the greatest thing that we've had for Android. An absolute, smart program that tells you what's going on before you need to know what's going on. Just load it up and it tells you. My parents just came back from a trip and they emailed me their itinerary. So Google Now populated with their itinerary. Oh, the plane is landing here. It's gonna get there. So it was just a great way to sort of. I didn't have to send them a text message. When are you landing? It kept that information for me. Now, Google Now is on iOS, and there's a bit of chatter about people going on about, oh well, Google Now is an Android thing. It should be Android only. A la the old days when Instagram first came to Android and Instagram users all up in arms. I don't see this being a bad thing. I think Google Now being on iOS devices, which there's a crap load of iOS devices out there, means more people getting to like Google services. Mark, you had a comment about it.
Yeah, well, it's actually, this has more to do with the Android app. And I've noticed a lot of people because now Jelly Bean is becoming more common on devices. And I've noticed a lot of people around my office and everything, who have Jelly Bean devices who've never even turned on Google Now, who don't even know it exists there. So I think there is a kind of a transparency problem on that one, is that they don't know it's there. Like today I was like, one guy, he was checking his phone, and he has an Nexus 4. And he's checked the weather, and he clicked the weather widget, and I'm like, you don't check using Google Now? And he's like, what's that? And I dragged up, and it came to his like, oh, it's turned off and everything. And I'm like, you don't even have it on.
Yeah, and that's one thing. And that's one of the first things I show up to people whenever they get a Jelly Bean update on their device. I show them how they do it, especially people I know who are big, sports fans. I mean, I think there's some sort of big sporting event going on in Canada that people are excited about right now. I can't remember what it is. But if you want to stay up to date on it, you know what? Who's in the playoffs right now? How is Toronto doing right now? Toronto against Boston tonight? Is that already over? Anyways, Google Now would keep you up to date on that stuff, and they just love it just for that kind of feature. And I think it's just a great play, getting people to know that a Google Now app is better than Siri. The Google Maps app is better than Apple Maps. It gets people loving Google and seeing what great programs they are. And I think it's just great all around. So, moving on. Speaking of how great Android is, anybody thinking about migrating to Windows Phone 8?
God, no.
I mean, I tried out that device way back when, and it is pretty nifty. It's not bad.
I would love to, if only there was an app that helped me migrate my apps.
Well, you know what, Mark? There is now. If you go into the Google Play Store, there is an app by Microsoft that'll tell you how are you ready to migrate to Windows Phone 8, and it'll look through your apps and tell you if there's an equivalent Windows Phone 8 app for you. Anybody
Really?
give it a try?
Where do we find that?
Wow. Yeah. So, and it's funny because part of me says, okay, obviously, there's a lot of politics around, and people just like to sling mud everywhere they go, and Microsoft, especially their Scroogle campaign, really want to stick it to Google some way. Go ahead and put an app in their own store saying how to switch over. And then they go ahead and release what I thought was a pretty hilarious little commercial about getting along with people. Like Apple versus Android users fighting at a wedding, and then the Nokia guys are just, come on, get along. people would be happier if they were just on the Windows Phone. It just was way backwards. Mark, I know you were looking at the app on the Google Plus the other day.
Well,
Comment?
yeah, I tried to. I was curious, right? So I, like everyone, and I looked at it, and it wasn't available. Wasn't even available in our Play Store for Canadians. I thought that was hilarious, first of all, because apparently Canadians aren't good enough for Windows 8. But the other thing that was
no market penetration.
Yeah, but the funny thing that I found was when you run the app, and a lot of people say like, oh yeah, like 92%, 90% match or something, right? But if you actually, there's no way to look at the apps because they don't give you a list of, oh, here's all your apps, here's all these apps. You have to buy a Windows Phone first to get that list. And then once you have it, then you see the list, and most of them, they're not even, they're trying to match up with an app similar to function, but it's not the same function, or they're way off. And I know people have said comments where they look at the icon and it's like there's like a Google symbol with an Elmo, and it's like, what app do I have on my phone that needs Elmo on it? So it's the matching was done very, if I was the engineer who developed that app, I'd be pretty embarrassed with myself. But it's clearly they're doing it for because they're kind of desperate and they're trying to be political about it, and it just looks bad for them.
Yeah, it's bad. And then there was some comment about them saying that some of the apps were fake that they were saying they're going through. So who knows? Tom, your comment. You played with the Windows Phone before.
I have. I've actually had two now. You're exactly right. Some of the apps are kind of phony, and if not, they're just a port to a website, so it's not an actual app. It's just a link on your desktop or in your app drawer. Having had two Windows Phone, never actually had a Windows 8 phone. I've had the newer Windows 7.5 phones, and I kind of related them to iPhones. They're very simple, out of the box, it is what it is type deal. Not a whole lot of apps, though. And in my opinion, I had the Lumia, the new one that came out, the 720, just previous generation, and the phones were not that good. I mean, there was nothing to brag about. The cameras were bad. They were a year or two behind the competition. And we're talking about the commercials saying, they ended the commercial with Windows Phone, the world's leading whatever, right? Saying they're the world's top phone right now. It's like, excuse me, 3% of the market is not top. So I mean, I kind of was confused by the commercial, but yeah, it was kind of hilarious about being the mediator. But I mean, out of all my friends, I don't think I know anybody who has a Windows Phone. Do you guys have anybody who uses the Windows Phone regularly? I think Cass, your husband, had one.
Yeah, I got one for Fred, and he really liked it. But when he was looking for a new phone, because he dropped his in a creek,
ouch.
I moved him over to a Z10, and he loves that phone still. So, yeah, and I wouldn't get him one anyways, because after they just abandoned all their users again, I don't think they're building market share as much as trying to recreate themselves every time.
Well, I had a friend of mine who just bought the Ativ S.
Oh.
Which is, I thought it was a funny. Remember the Samsung Ativ S? It's Vita spelled backwards. Vita meaning life, so backwards it should be death.
Yeah.
Anyways, he bought it. He returned it pretty quickly, he said. And he was stoked about this phone. He really, really wanted to get this phone and try it out. And it didn't take him long before he returned it. So got himself an iPhone 5. So I stopped talking to him anyways.
And why did he return it?
To be honest, I can't remember. I think there was some issues he had with it. I can't remember the full reason, but he was like, yeah, no, definitely did not live up to the hype. So he was not happy.
Well, maybe you should talk to him again. He probably returned his iPhone for an Android.
Well, I'm working on him. Okay, so moving along, let's go on. Tom wrote an article today or is it yesterday, about phone theft being on the rise. And I thought it was a kind of a poignant. If you remember this video that was on the internet a while back about a guy that was snatching iPhones from like subways and stuff like that. So I'll let Tom talk about phone theft.
So yeah, I reported yesterday about police actually warning people about snatch and grabs are on the rise with the booming market of smartphones from all carriers, no matter if you're an iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, whatever you're using. I mean, people are snatching and grabbing because, quite frankly, your phone is more valuable than the wallet in your pocket or the purse on your shoulder. So, I mean, these things, we're kind of, have them out, we're texting on the train, or you're walking and texting with the earbuds, and you're oblivious to the world around you. It takes 2 seconds for somebody to reach in, grab that phone, and it's gone. I mean, again, that's in between $200 and $600, depending on what phone you have. It's just basically walking around with your wallet in your hand. I mean, you got to be cautious of this stuff. But in the more deeper matter is what is connected to your phone. With Google Chrome, I mean, they have the ability to add your Visa card for instant transactions. Your Google's attached to your Facebook for automatic sign-in. Your Google's attached to everything else for automatic sign-in. So it's your family, it's your contacts, the cloud sync. Everything is attached to your Google account. So especially for us Android users, it's even more serious and more danger to be aware about. So I mean, keep a close eye, and snatch and grabs are really high, especially for women, unfortunately. I saw a couple of videos on YouTube of guys simply tackling a girl to the ground, takes her purse and just spreads it out, all her stuff all over the floor. He snatches the phone, he's gone. I mean, it's so fast. So just please issue a warning. I want to help spread the word. Just keep your eyes open. I mean, I have a wife that's pretty small, and I mean, it's very serious when it happens. So just keep your eyes open. Keep those earphones out sometimes, That's what happens.
Yeah. You know what? I dare anybody to snatch my phone. You'll see that I run really fast.
Is that in the
I
field
run
or just around anywhere?
anywhere. I run fast and for long.
You guys see the there was a video, like I don't know if it was a month ago or something, or it was like a few weeks ago or something, where they had, like, in China, a guy was stealing the cell phone out of a woman's pocket on a bike using chopsticks.
Yeah.
Got caught.
And it really it doesn't even take much, like Tom was saying, tackling somebody.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be that. Like you can say it could be just very much. All it takes is somebody to be oblivious, and
A hard bump.
boom, and boom, bump, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Right? And this is, they're like, an iPhone is what, $800 nowadays, 700 some odd bucks. Cass, your new S4, out of pocket would be $730.
No. 650.
Brand new. Oh, okay. I was
650.
730. I thought it was 730. Yeah.
I have a friend at work, and he came from Vietnam, and he said the way that they do it over there is they have a blade, and they simply, if they see a bulge in your front pocket, they'll cut underneath your pocket, and your wallet will fall out through your pant leg, and that's on the floor. Yeah. So if you're walking, you have your phone in your pocket, you can see an indentation where your phone is, and they'll take a blade or a knife, and they'll cut your pant leg, make it fall down your pants, and obviously on the road.
So wear headphones.
Just
Wear headphones.
Because if someone
Really well anchored earphone.
someone steals your phone, your music's gonna stop, and you go, "What? Where'd my music go?"
Look in the clouds.
But it's it is definitely something. I mean, especially when the costs are rising, these are very much, and it's any device that are tied to our personal accounts that happens for. And it comes off of, to make light of it, there was that joke going around Google Plus about the seeing eye texter, the seeing eye person for texters. Somebody to walk around. Oh, there's a car going there. So stuff like that. We really need to be more aware. I know we talked last week about texting and driving and making sure you're safe and cautious. Just be aware around everywhere. Okay, next article is. One more comment. Sorry, Cass.
And it's not just that your stuff is attached to it. Even if they just factory reset your phone, they can still sell it. Mm-hmm. So it's not just your stuff. It is, your phone is intrinsically valuable. So.
Actually, no. This brings up a good. This is something that, like, a lot of iPhone users, they have the Find My iPhone, right? So you can track it and everything and data wipe it. There is one, like, Cerberus for your Android phone that can do something similar, and it can take pictures of the people. And I think, I don't know if it survives a factory reset or not, but it will stay hidden so people can't see it. And if you switch the SIM card out, like if you switch a SIM card, it actually will notify you that, oh, there's a new SIM card in your phone, and it'll record the location. So it's one of those. It's those are good apps that it's good to have it for just in case you lose it, and it gives you a nice interface to use it with. So.
Although I remember Eileen Rivera lost her phone in New York, I think it was, and she had it on lookout, and she said she could track her phone for a long time, and the police wouldn't do anything about it. They just said, oh, well. So, yeah.
You can't give them a map that shows, here's where my phone is, and they go,
oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, you can't do anything.
Have other things to do, I guess.
How much more evidence do you need that my phone is right there?
And I am not.
Yeah.
Okay. We could talk about that. There's actually some really cool articles I read lately about how to do just like they're talking about. We'll move along. Eric Ravencraft, a writer over at the Android Police, and I have to share this. This is I don't often share other blogs just because I'm trying to be shameless promoter myself here, but a great article the other day about. I'll just read the title: "Stop making crap up and then whining about it." I mean. It comes off the heels of everybody talking about this new X phone and maybe the next LG Nexus and what about Keyline Pi? Oh, it may not be Keyline Pi. We're only going to get 4.3. Oh, I can't believe we're only going to get 4. It's like, and he sums it up nicely, I think, in the fact that he says, here is a conceptual sketch of everything we know about the Motorola X phone, and it's a blank JPEG, because really we don't know anything about it yet. And we really, personally, just to rant, I stay as far away from rumors as much as possible, just because I don't want to get caught up in that thing. I rather want to enjoy the device I have personally right now, and not have to get caught up in the whole, what's coming out next, what next feature, because then, we're going to start expecting everything, and then we start getting to that iPhone realm, where I just had a buddy of mine who bought an iPhone 5. And he saw the rumor with the iPhone 5S. He was like, "Whoa, this is crap. Now I'm gonna have a crap phone." And like, no, you still have a pretty good phone. I mean, it's not Google, but I mean, you still have a pretty good phone. Just stop complaining about stuff you don't know anything about. And that's my rant. And that's one of the things I will try not to ever do on Android Coliseum, is to write about rumors that are unsubstantiated if I can. So that's my rant.
But
anyways,
Ryan, I heard that the X phone has an ultra high definition screen made of diamonds and
a super duper micro
read your mind and
megapixel camera.
Yeah.
See, that's the big problem. Everybody's gonna start building it up, and then when it comes out with it's got 1080p, you're like, 1080p? That's so 6 months ago. But you realize it's so great. Anyways. Crap. Okay, so talking about new phones coming out and whatnot, something with the new Galaxy S4, and we're going to get Cass's full opinion and review on it later, came out, and again, people complaining and whining about stuff. The Tactiles One, which were the Samsung NFC chips that came out for the Galaxy S3. And this is one I didn't know. So Cass knows a little bit more about it than I do in this sense. Cass, you want to go take over?
Sure. So I was reading about everything about S4s, and I was reading about the Tactile ones. And apparently they're not compatible with the S4 because the NFC in the S4 is the one that is more globally accepted. I guess they've brought standards in since the S3 was released. So what they're going to do, and I think they're out now, is they're going with Tactile 2, and the Tactile 2s will be compatible with not just the S4 but all current NFC, because it's the NFC standard, and it will be back compatible with the S3 as well. So kind of sad for the people that bought Tactile ones, but really remember, until you upgrade your phone and don't have an S3 anymore, they will still work for you.
And I guess it's a good question. Like, I never tried out the Tactile ones. I mean, I tried out a bunch of other different NFC tags, but I never tried the Tactile ones because I just assumed that they would work on other Android devices, and I wonder if that's true as well. So, okay, moving along. Tom, who I'm jealous of being able to get himself his own version of the HTC One. I will get mine soon, hopefully. Anybody want to buy a Galaxy S3? Anybody? Um, uh, Issues with the HTC One. Again, people complaining about stuff that's really awesome. Tom, go ahead.
Well, before I start, who has a Galaxy S3? That's so 6 months ago.
So 15 minutes ago. Come on.
It's all Galaxy S4 now, man. Come on.
7 months ago, I bought mine. Okay, 7 months ago.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom, for sparing me.
So when I got the HTC One, everyone was raving about it, how awesome it was, and then, as Ryan said, everyone has to nitpick at a single feature going, oh, this phone's crap because it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. And I'm laughing because I got this phone, I've been using it for 2 weeks now, and one of the issues that made me laugh is they go, oh my god, if you put your finger here and go down the status bar, you can feel where the screen starts and when the speakers end. They're like, my screen's out of place, it's going to fall out. Like, I have a defective unit. And then they go and return their unit, and they get another one in return, and of course it's the same. So we're kind of laughing at these people, and then they go, oh, well, the battery's crap. It only lasts 2 hours or 8 hours or however many they're kind of putting their device under a stress test. People ask for the settings, and they're pushing like Facebook, Twitter, and a whole bunch of chat messengers every 15 minutes. Like, what do you expect? Another big issue, what was it?
The back button?
Yeah, back button issues. It was about the back button not working. And again, I wrote an article about this yesterday again about people returning it because the back button is not working. It is working. Every once in a while, you go into an app, and the app will just not recognize the back button for about 3 seconds. So you hit the back button, nothing happens, whatever. But there's also a menu back button at the top there, so you just kind of navigate out of it, no big deal. And the next screen, it just starts working again, just for that one particular screen. Doesn't work for like 2 seconds, and people are freaking out about it. And you know, they've opened up and said, you know, yeah, we kind of made a mistake there. We're going to correct it with a software update. So, like, anybody who gets a new phone is going to have issues. I mean, Cass's S4, she probably hasn't found them yet, but there will be an issue that she'll come across, like every other new phone. Don't freak out. It will get fixed. I mean, that's the thing about new tech. So, I mean, that's my little thing about the HTC issues. Stop freaking out. They're going to get fixed. Just be happy with your device. Exactly as Ryan says, you know, be happy with what you got. Don't freak. Mark, you had a comment?
Yeah, well, actually, I heard people already complaining about the S4 screen. How it's like weird coloring or something like that.
I can't believe some dweeb on XDA. I only hear good things about the S4. Let's start a thread about what's bad. It's like, are you kidding me? All I ever read is bad crap about the S4. Specifically, it's not an HTC One.
Pretty much.
Go buy one if that's what you want.
Anyways, but yeah, I think what HTC has actually done quite a good job actually with especially their developer support. 'Cause, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh, you can't, you know, root this thing, you know, this thing's gonna fail and stuff like. But if you look at what HTC has done with their developer support, you know, they let you unlock it. You know, they don't have the SOP on, but you don't really need it unless you're doing, you know, custom radio development and stuff like that. And it's one of those things that it's, you know, people try and find little problems with everything, and like it kind of goes back to the discussion we had before about, you know, just enjoy your phone as it is. You know, quit trying to find everything wrong with it, and you know, maybe the next phone will fix all these problems, and you're always going to be chasing your tail.
Yeah, we should all just live positively. That's what I'd say.
Or in the moment, anyways.
Enjoy what you have. I just wrote in the chat, I don't know if anybody else had seen this, just talking about bashing and people complaining or whatever. Samsung got busted. I didn't really want to talk about it because I hate doing negative news. But Samsung kind of got busted for hiring students at a university to bash the HTC One. And again, you know, I sort of hate to see Android on Android hate, but, you know, it happens. So But let's all be positive. What's the great thing about you love about your phone? So go ahead, guys out there who are listening in, tweet us with something with the Android Coliseum and say, what I really like about my phone is this. Let's hear some positivity out there. Okay, so other things, positivity. So one thing great about positivity in the Android realm is its developer community. And one of the things that's getting a lot of hype lately is Paranoid Android. If you remember, Paranoid Android was the guys that came up with that menu swipe up, the pie gesture. Right? I think, Sylvain, you were using the pie gesture, weren't you?
I was not. I think Tom was.
Yeah, so
Tom had it at one time, yeah. So they came up with that, but they recently came up with some cool new features saying, you know what, I really like the fact that Facebook Home has that little chat heads. We're going to do something very similar to it called Halo, and I know Mark was doing some more reading on this one, so let Mark take over.
Yeah, you basically said everything already. It just came up on if you're watching on Paranoid Android, and they posted some pictures of it. And basically what they're saying is that they love the idea that what Facebook did with chat heads, and they've always been frustrated with the attempts at multitasking, especially with the Samsungs and with the Samsung multi-window. And there was another one that CyanogenMod was trying to use. The name escapes me. But that one, it also didn't have very good implementation. I think Google pulled rank on that one and didn't let them use it. But so what they've done is they've gone ahead and they've taken their own approach to multitasking, and they've created what they call Halo, which is it looks like the same thing as the chat head, but it can do any app. So any app that you have running, it can run through. And what it does is it creates a movable window that allows you to basically see what's the app that's whatever app that notification comes through. You'll be able to turn it on from the notification bar, and you'll be able to get any app through it. And it actually, what happens is when you click it open, it freezes or pauses all other operations in the back. And they showed it as an example. The guy was running Temple Run in the background, and he was getting notifications, and it worked flawlessly, and it's like these kind of things that they look at what someone, this is the kind of the idea of sharing, right? Someone comes up with a really good idea, and someone goes, that's a really good idea, how else can we implement that and really enhance the Android experience? And I think that's Paranoid has been doing a really good job lately with that, with the introduction of the Pi controls and everything. And I just, unless Google does something really great with 4.3 or 5.0 or whatever it is, I might give it a shot.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of traction in the Paranoid Android in terms of some people talking about it in the blogosphere, and I think
maybe it's a new CyanogenMod.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
That's what's the great thing about open source, right? We can do whatever we want with it, make it some cool stuff. All right, so moving on. Google hires a game lead designer. Again, this is a cool. Make some conjecture on this, and I'm actually kind of excited because I've gotten back into some gaming on my Android device because I had that HTC One that could just handle games greatly. Now, Mark, you know the guy, the name a little bit more than I do. You've been more in the gaming sphere. You want to chat about it?
Yeah, I can. So it's kind of it was found, and amongst every other thing, you find the things on LinkedIn where everyone posts their job status. But it was recently found that that Noah Falstein, who's a pretty legendary game developer, he's worked for companies like LucasArts and everything, and he was recently hired on by Google to work as their what do they call him? It's like chief game designer is what he's coming on. So the speculation, now we're not really sure what that means. Is he going to be developing games because Google's been getting in there with Ingress, or is he going to be working on their rumored game center? So it's it's interesting to speculate, but obviously we don't really know what he's going to be doing. But he does have quite a good pedigree, and he is quite well known for his game developing history.
That'd be cool. I mean, one of those things like, is it too early for him to come out and announce something at I/O? Like, if you bring somebody on now, there's no way whatever he would have implemented in by I/O, but down the road, for sure he has something probably in mind.
Obviously,
Tom,
they
got a
got
comment?
Mark had mentioned Game Center, and I've also heard a lot of rumors about that, and people are getting really excited about it. Again, back in my iPhone days, Game Center came out, and it was really big, but the one feature they were missing was a chat support and/or forum style to communicate with the people you're actually trying to score against. So, I mean, with the whole rumors and production of Babel or Babel and Game Center, could this be something that they're going to maybe throw together? And that's where the whole chat thing will come up to unite all Androids in the Game Center with your United Chat function. I mean, this is just me thinking out loud, but wouldn't that be the dream?
Yeah, I don't. That'd be good. I don't care as much about leaderboards or anything. I just care about save game data. I mean, that's I get so frustrated when I lose all my save game data. Who knows? That could be interesting, though. Especially with the new Angry Birds friends and everything. Be playing against each other.
Yeah, but you have to use you have to use your Facebook
Facebook
login for that, and that's why I tried it. And as soon as I saw Facebook login, I got rid of Angry Birds friends.
Well, there's
Can I do that too?
there's the Google Plus sign-in that they started pushing out, right? Maybe Google Plus sign-in will be connected to Game Center, and then all these apps you'll be able to log in and create accounts with your Google Plus account, and stuff will get shared to your
If they bring that back in, if they bring that in, and I can sign into Angry Birds friends with Google Plus, then I'll give it another shot, and we can have that as a hangout some night. I'll
That'd be
school you all on how to take down piggies.
You mean you'll get your son to school us all?
Yes. Sad. Okay, so news on the corner. Who knows? Maybe by Google I/O might hear some cool new ideas. Last but not least, in terms of the news items, and this can lead right into before we go into the review. CyanogenMod had some news about the Galaxy S4, and Tom can talk about this one.
Well, actually, it's not really from CyanogenMod itself. It's the Team Hacksung and CyanogenMod basically published an open letter and said, before the S4 came out, going, we're not gonna touch it. Nobody on our team wants it. Nobody on our team wants to deal with the Xenos processor, as it's been giving them troubles in the past, and they actually highlighted the feature of the camera. And if you guys remember, putting CyanogenMod on our Galaxy S3s back in the day, you would launch the camera and go, oh, cannot connect. Okay, hit back, use camera again, still cannot connect. You'd actually have to restart your phone just to get it to work again. And apparently this is caused from the Xenos processor, and they're having problems with it. So now we start seeing unofficial builds start rearing their heads for the S4, and people are starting to get excited, going, "Oh my God, CyanogenMod's coming to the S4." It's like, well, yes and no. As Ryan had said earlier, the community is bringing CyanogenMod to the S4, not necessarily CyanogenMod themselves. We talked about Paranoid Android and their whole Pi function and chat heads and all that stuff. Well, CyanogenMod actually added the Pi control not long ago, so maybe chat heads something in their future as well. But either way, if you got an S4, you may have CyanogenMod on the way. It may not be official, but you may have, let's say, 90% of the usability, but maybe not as productive on the nightly scale as you would on the official build. So that's my little take on the CyanogenMod. If you guys have something to add to it, go ahead.
Yeah, when we found her, when it brought up or something, it was actually posted by like Steve Kondik, who basically he is Cyanogen. He started CyanogenMod, so I mean you can't get more officially unofficial than that from him coming. The other key point is when they played with it, especially Hacksung, they never gave an official statement about whether they were going to support it or not. They never do until they've tried, or if they have a device to try it. Mm-hmm. But the device that he's using is actually, it's not an Exynos processor. I believe it's one of the Qualcomm processors.
Okay, so it's a North American release then.
It's a North American. Yeah, it's a Sprint one or something that he did.
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, yeah, but they can port it to other Qualcomm ones. It's the Exynos ones that that it's a problem, but as long as they're not using it's not using the Exynos processor, they should be able to.
That's strange. So could this be the first time that we actually see official CyanogenMod on a variant, opposed to always the international getting it first? That would be a change in the playing field for sure.
And he also says that he got Hover to work, which is interesting. Hover on, because they have the big thing about the S4 is it has that hover control where you just put your finger right above the screen and it'll kind of do the hover control. And I guess because it's got the sensors in there, he was able to get that to work with CyanogenMod 10.1, that's a nice little add-on.
Cass, got a comment?
Well, I was just under the impression at first, before Samsung had actually released any of the kernel, that was when everybody was saying they weren't going to support it, because it was those rumors. Samsung's not going to release the kernels. They've gotten too big for their boots. They're going to lock everything down and no one will ever be able to unlock stuff again. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing people sort of back away from those statements as Samsung starts releasing stuff. They have always been really good to the developer community. So I don't know. And I think they even hired one of the hackers away a couple years ago.
Well, that's Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, yeah.
It doesn't work for them anymore, though.
But still, I mean, why would they cut their throat like that? That's one of the things that makes it popular.
Well, that's the thing. They can withhold their Exynos, like the stuff that supports their Exynos processors, right? Mm-hmm. But Qualcomm is in control of all of the stuff for that, and so if they can get a hold of the Qualcomm ones, then they can do all the work they want with that one. The trick is getting the bootloader unlocked, which he was able to do, like within 2 hours of getting the S4. So everyone was saying, "Oh, it's going to be impossible to break it," and that's when he posted. He was like, "Oh yeah, definitely impossible to unlock the bootloader."
But I thought he didn't actually post how he unlocked it.
I don't think he did, but he just posted that he did.
No, he said he wasn't going to right away. He may later, but he wasn't willing to share right now.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's his process.
Especially the early stages of it. You don't want other people bricking their devices.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to replicate it, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads us actually a great segue into the review. We're all waiting to hear from Cass on her brand new toy.
Brand new
Go ahead, Cass.
toy. So I have to say, getting this was a bit of a deal. Like, I went and pre-ordered on the first day it was available, and then it was supposed to come on a Saturday, and then it didn't come on a Saturday. Then it was supposed to come on a Monday, and it didn't come on a Monday, and finally it came, and definitely worth the wait for me. I know everybody's been going crazy about just reading Tom's comment. So anyways, I know everybody's been going crazy about the HTC One. I did look at an HTC One. For me, it was like holding a galvanized tin roof. I really did not like the feel of the outside. So I was tempted when this didn't come in. I did look. And so I'm really happy with my S4. I turned it on. My husband said, "Ooh, look at that screen. It feels great in my hand. The ergonomics are fantastic. It's weighted right. The power button, the up-down button are all where I expect it to be." I'm happy. I've spent two days fiddling with it to make it the way I want it, and now I can just enjoy my phone. And I'm really happy. Thanks, Mark. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy I made the jump. My Nexus was driving me crazy. Oh, so the comments on here are, Mark said, sin, blasphemy, and nerdgasm.
That's not the right context. Come on.
Well, you have to jump in there. So I'm really happy. Like, my Nexus was getting really laggy and just drive me crazy. It'd spontaneously reboot. Whereas And it did some other stuff that really annoyed me. Whereas at least with this phone, and it may seem really simple, I take it away from my ear, the screen turns on so I can hang up. Like simple things like that that were not working properly on my Nexus, which was running Jelly Bean 4.2.2. Like, what the hell? So I'm really happy with my device. For me, it's more of a tool than it sounds like for some people. So I'm in it for the long term. I plan to keep it for more than 18 months. So far, my Nexus is my record. But yeah, I really like it. Sorry, guys.
So
I don't care about
what's the number one thing?
Speakers. What's
the one thing you like about it?
It took so long to get it that I was like it was almost at the point where, yeah, well, it's just a phone, whatever. I think partly because it was taking so long to get. I can't pick one thing I like. I like the entire package. And I showed it around at work, and one of the gals at work, she's dumping her old phone and she's getting one, and she was just like, oh, I can't wait. And another gal, she broke her phone. She's getting one. She was tossed between the HTC One and the iPhone 5. And after holding my phone, she said, yeah, S4 for the win. So,
So,
is
Samsung sending you a check for all this commission you're making on
I wish. I got a $50 credit because of the delay, and I felt so bad about my first world problems that I donated it to the UNHR for Somalia. So
Nice.
what can I say? People are losing their homes, and I'm worried about not getting my phone on time.
How's the camera, Cass?
Awesome. I love it. I found the Nexus camera so frustrating because it was fast, but it was blurry.
Mm-hmm.
This is good enough for me in low light. I know it doesn't have the exact same functions as HTC. HTC's got their Zoe, which is cool, but I have my animated pictures that I can just animate one part. So I had put a post up on Google Plus about I had my dogs waiting at the back door, and you could just see their tails wagging. You can pick what part you want to animate, and then there's also, which I think will be great for people with families, is where you take a picture and you can embed a sound with it. So the first time your child says "Mama," "Papa," "No,"
Or the first swear?
I was thinking no would work for that. You have a picture of their face and no.
Yes. Let us know how much you use that.
Actually, I think I will use a lot the mobile and the voice one. I mean, for the amount I take pictures, and really I post them to Google Plus.
What about the one where it takes a picture of your face and then puts it as a square or as a heart or whatever shape you want in the picture?
I've only seen it as a frame, and I like that. Like when I'm talking to if I'm talking to my brother on Tango or something like that, it'll be like, I just think it's...
No, this one is like it takes pictures and then you can put your own face on the picture.
Yeah, that one's kind of odd.
And you can have like a heart or star frame or whatever frame you want on it.
But I'm
does
not
the
in
two
love
pictures,
with someone in a long-distance relationship. Whereas somebody who may find that, like, handy. Gooey people in long-distance relationships. Remember, I'm old. I've been married for more years than I can remember how to subtract. So I'm not going to use that for gooey pictures. But other people will. I just like everything so far.
Good.
And I think I will be happy for that one.
Good. Now, one of the things we talk about whenever we get a phone, a lot of us like go ahead and try to do is root it. And I posted something for you the other day about rooting the phone. So give us your option or your take on rooting the S4.
So in the past, I have tried, and even on my Nexus, I tried rooting with the ADB method, where you load your updated Android SDK, and then you use fastboot and go into recovery mode and recovery, whichever mode that is. Anyways, you go into this mode, and then you send information from your phone, from your computer to your phone, blah blah. I tried that before. I know I did all the right steps, and no rooting occurred. So, Ryan had sent me this video, and it was the same thing, except this time the window just stayed open, and you turned your phone on, and you said, go, and it did it. The first time it didn't work because I think I didn't have it plugged into a good USB port. So I changed USB ports, and poof, done. So my phone is still locked to the network, but it's rooted, so I can use Carbon, which is now changed to Halogen.
Helium.
Yeah. Sorry, halogen, helium, both gassy chemicals.
It's a helium and halogen.
Halogen's poisonous, I know. So anyways, so now I've got root back again, which I'm happy about. Unlock, I wasn't that concerned about because I still have my Nexus. What's grumbling?
Cool. So I'm really looking forward for a nice full review when you get it, accustomed to the way you like it. See all the stuff that, as much as we like to make fun of TouchWiz being a lot of bloatware, there is a lot of useful stuff in it. I know we're talking about, the S-Health apps being an interesting kind of play. So, again, like to see that going. And don't get me started on the chemistry stuff. Halogen and, helium is a noble
group on the periodic table. That'd be
right.
Bromines,
Helium
chlorines,
is in the
helium's
iodine.
By the way, if you use the S-Health app, you should really be tweeting about it with your iPhone.
What?
Did you hear about that?
The
tennis
basketball player, tennis guy.
He's sponsored by Samsung, and he was tweeting about how great the Samsung Galaxy S4 was.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
And he was like, from Twitter for iPhone, posted from Twitter for iPhone.
Yeah, but the same thing. Well, who was that chick that they got for RIM, for BlackBerry?
Yeah, she was
vice president.
Vice president.
Tweeting from her marketing or whatever it was, and who was it? Alicia Gray? No, what was her name?
Alicia Keys. Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alicia Keys.
We're all on top
of the next week. Yeah, and the next week she's tweeting from her iPhone. So, anyways. Okay, so that's our reviews. Let's go quickly. We'll dive through the app updates this past week. Amazon Kindle app got updated. Kobo's got himself updated. Mark, you want to talk about the Kobo?
Yeah, quick. The one thing that I was kind of hoping for was they would start adding better page transitions to match some of the other ones, and looks like they're starting to do that now. They have more page transitions, and they say they're going to have curl too, which is
I saw that it's coming.
Yeah, they say curl coming soon. Just wait for it, and I'm actually quite happy that they're doing that. So.
Okay. Oh, can I just add one more thing in? Sorry about my review.
Yeah.
I was really surprised after using a Nexus for like almost 2 years that I had no problems adjusting to a center key, a back button, and a menu button. Like, they've done something so that even if the programming has the 3 dots, the menu button works instead. So, just saying.
Yeah. And again, it's what I mentioned when in the HTC One review, that you get used to a new way of doing things pretty quickly.
Amazingly quickly.
Right? Yeah. All right. So what else we talked about? WeatherBug Elite app updated. AirDroid updated. Had some new features put in. Feedly's got some new features thrown in. Ingress, 2 updates in a row updated. You can now do some cool things in Ingress, i.e. recycle your items for more XM.
No one does that.
Goggles updated, better for rotating and stuff like that. And then Sylvain, the AOKP guy, had some updates. Want to talk about that, Sylvain?
Yes. So I started installing nightlies, Yeah, believe it or not, I said, yeah, I would stick to milestones because, I need a stable phone. But as soon as they started to just release every 3 days those AOKPs nightlies, I'm just like them. I couldn't keep myself, and I just started installing all of them. But they all work, so that's good. So I'm going to show the screen. Just give me a sec here. I just want to show a few options that are really cool. So there's something called ribbons. And so the ribbons, it's kind of like Pi, except, I don't know, I'll show really quick. So you can add them into your lock screen, notifications, quick settings, left and right swipe. And so I'll show you what it does. Let's see on the left one, I just swipe. And I have all my Google apps here. If I swipe left, left on the right one, I have, my other apps. And you can put it so it stays up for 3 seconds or 5 or 10. I'll just cancel this. Also in notifications here, that's two apps I use a lot. So there's the Show Wi-Fi one, and the other one I just got this week. That's for my sound. I'm always looking for an app that's going to keep me from using my hardware buttons. So that's pretty good. I remember talking about the slide widget for the sound, but it was not updating the sound in real time, and this one is. So I like it a lot. It's pretty good. I also tried another app called Pi. It's on the market, but it didn't really work with the actual ribbons I have because it takes the whole side of my screen. So that's about it for ribbons. There's another one they just introduced in the latest nightly. It's installer settings. For those of you that changed the host file for the ads, I think that it was reset every time you install a new nightly, but now they have the option to keep it. What else? Oh yeah, on my home screen, if I just slide up, I can use a little widget here. That's the widget for my my VoIP. So I can just click on it, activate it, click anywhere else on my screen, and it's back down. So I was saying today on Google Plus and Twitter that I'm now down to 2 screens only, and I don't know if I can keep it like that because I'm kind of missing a few widgets. But it is possible. I remember having all my icons on maybe 4 or 5 screens, but not anymore. So I really like what's the direction AOKP is taking with all those little ribbons and easier way of accessing all your apps from anywhere. And that's something I really like because you can be in any app and the handle is really small. So it's really easy to access another app from any app. So that's my take on this.
Very cool. A good way to sort of make it like a new folders, like I started using instead of a standard folder, that app Circle Launcher to try to make a different way to make it look. That's, again, what I kept talking about. The coolest thing about Android is that we can make it do all these really cool things. We got people out there that have the time and know how to make these cool things. So, speaking of people that make cool things for Android, now it comes to our part in the evening where we talk about the App Coliseum. So for those of you, again, who maybe this is your first time tuning in, the App Coliseum is our turn to show you what are the apps that we're liking right now at this moment, and share it with you so maybe you can try it out. And then, again, once we're finished sharing our App Coliseums, maybe you guys can tell us what's the app that you guys like. Something we've tried out the past couple weeks is the winners from previous weeks. So what we want to do is when we share an App Coliseum, we're going to put a post out there, and we want you to +1 it if you like it, or like it on Facebook, or retweet it on Twitter or something. Just give it a plus and say that's a cool app. I think I might try it out. The idea is we want to see how many sort of thumbs up we can get for an app, or is it a thumbs down? Give the whole Coliseum idea. So last week we looked at the different apps, and the winner of last week's App Coliseum was me.
Cheater.
I picked Dash Clock. I checked the hashtags. I had the most plus ones, not by a lot, but I had the most plus ones.
He uses Facebook to advertise. That's how he won.
You know what? I actually didn't. We get nothing on
And
Facebook,
Twitter.
so I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything on Twitter either. I just used the hashtag on App Coliseum.
I'm spreading blasphemy.
I
I have no proof of this.
Blasphemy. Mute his camera.
That's a bit unfair. You did get Dash Clock. You can't. You can't not
go
win
wrong
with
with Dash Clock. Yeah, Dash Clock was pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look at. Go through it. We'll start it right. We'll go right from the blasphemer. Let's just start with Tom. So Tom, let's go ahead and let's give your call. So let's give you a chance because he won the previous week. So let's give him a chance to redeem himself. Let's let him go first.
Okay, well, I haven't done Funny Friday in a while. I've been too busy and I wasn't getting a lot of viewers, so I kind of stopped it. So my app today is called Cheeseburger. And for any of you guys who probably heard of Cheeseburger back in the day, it's actually an app comes from I Can Has Cheeseburger. And it's a collaboration of all these blogs and websites here. And we're talking fail blog, text from last night, animal gifs, Facebook fails, celeb fails. Like, it's just, the list is never ending. So there's even a surprise me page here where it just jumbles them all up and gives you picture fails and stuff like that. So, I mean, with about 50 different websites on one little thing here, I mean, you can't go wrong. If you've got 5 minutes to spare and you just want to have a good laugh, share them with your friends, share the laughter, share the joy. I mean, share it from your Android. So that is my app. Very quick, very simple. It's called Cheeseburger. You want to laugh this weekend? Check it out.
Cool. All right. Yeah, the I Can Has Cheeseburger. That's been around for quite some time, and it's always good for a laugh. I always just subscribe to a couple of those, and they're in my reader feed, and I just, as you go through news article, laugh my ass off at something. Okay, so Tom will put. Let it go. I'm slowly transitioning to Feedly. I'm getting there. Just give me time. All right. I think I'm in like the 8th stage of,
Use the neutral RSS feeds.
The 8th stage? Really?
Anyways.
I think there's only 5.
Is there 5 stages of mourning or whatever? So, whatever.
Of grief.
I'm in the 8th. Okay. So, we'll get to the links for this stuff here, guys, in a few minutes. So, again, if you like the Cheeseburger app, give it a +1, give it a like, give it a retweet, and we'll tally this up to see if Tom can regain his throne for next week there. So, next up on the chopping block here is Sylvain. Sylvain, let's see what your app Coliseum is this week.
Yes, so very cool app. It's already integrated into Cyanogen, but AOKP released a little app so I can easily download my nightlies and milestone and everything. So it just shows here. It's called AOKP Push. Well, actually, it's AOK Push. And I can decide, okay, what do I want the push for? So I want not test feed, so I can unclick and just choose. One really cool thing is the fun feed. So the developers can just send to all the devices that have this app messages on what's coming up and the upcoming news and everything. So this is what it looks like with all the little messages. So you see the first one I got was for the milestone. You see nightlies, and so I'll just show here. I click on milestone. It says new build available. I can download from the Goo server, the Andro, and really cool thing is that I don't have to look for the gaps now. It's right there. I can't go wrong. It's right for my my device. I can go to the nightlies and they have a change log. I remember I was using Goo Manager before and there was never anything in the change log. So at least here I can just look what's new and should I install it or not. Really quick, really easy. They even posted messages about their social media stats. So cool stuff to read. It has one purpose, just to download their stuff and stay up to date with AOKP. So thumbs up.
There you go. So AOK Push.
That's right.
Is Sylvain's. So again, we'll get the link out there. And again, if you use AOKP or this is an app that you think you'd want to try out sometime or worthy of a +1 like, tweet, whatever it might be, please do so, and we'll keep track of it throughout the week and see if Sylvain in his first week back can be the winner. Okay, Mark, your turn.
So, I know you guys are going to keep typecasting me this way ever since Ryan gave it to me a couple weeks ago, but because I'm not the Facebook guy, but everyone does have their Facebook friends who, a lot of times they're close friends, they still use the Facebook, but ever since back, I think it was in Gingerbread, Facebook and Google have never been, or have not been on the best of terms. So if you had an older device, it did sync up with your Facebook account, but just recently, but then they kind of removed that, so it didn't sync up. There's been ways to get around it, but I found an app on the Play Store called HackSync for Facebook, and what it does is you install it on your phone, and it will sync up all of your contacts, the pictures. It'll actually put a 720 by 720 picture on your phone. It'll sync up birthdays and event reminders and everything. So it does all that stuff that it syncs up, and it's kind of a utility that sits in the background. I'm not going to show you on my phone because then you'll see all of my friends, but I will show you from the Play Store here. So let me just do a screen share. Get an idea of what it looks like. So this is a HackSync, and then you can look here. So this is when you start up the app for the first time. It goes through this process, and it asks you what you want to sync, and if you want to do all your contacts, or just your contacts that are on your phone, or if you want to import all your Facebook friends, which for most people that's probably too much because most people are friends with people they aren't actually on Facebook that they aren't actually friends with in real life. But what happens is it ends up giving you another little icon that opens, and it just does Facebook, so it'll actually will open up the Facebook if you click on this one. So you have your phone, your Gmail, your Google Plus, and this HackSync will open the Facebook profile. In here, what it does is normally the updates was just relegated to Google Plus updates, but here now you'll see it says via HackSync, and what happens is that one will pull in all your Facebook messages. So if you have Facebook posts from someone, those will all come in, and if you click on that, it'll open up the Facebook app that comments. So it actually makes it very easy for you to, if you use the People app all the time, very easy for you to stay connected with at least those people. It also will put your birthday reminders because you may not have all everyone's birthdays in your phone book, but it does pull it from the Facebook servers, so you can have all your birthdays on your phone's calendar. And it has other events if you have events on Facebook that a lot of people still like to use. So basically, it's a nice way to still, like, people who still aren't on Google Plus, who still post a lot to Facebook, you can at least populate the pictures with that. Also, it says in the description that it uses algorithms or uses some face recognition to crop the picture and then actually put it in the right spot so the person's face is front and center instead of maybe being cut or cropped. But if you don't like it, you can always customize it too. So that's my app.
Cool. Now, was yours not syncing beforehand? Like I know in some phones I've had some issues with Facebook.
It's never
not syncing.
It's never officially synced. Like ever since I had a Nexus S, it's never synced. So you've never really get Facebook stuff. So I found workarounds where it was a desktop application, and what it did was it would pull your contact information from Facebook, the pictures at least, and then it would upload them to your Google Plus or your Google or your Gmail like contacts, and then it did it that kind of way. But you'd have to do it manually. This one will pull it from your phone, and it won't just update the picture. It'll also do it'll also have the social networking, status updates.
I was gonna say, because I'm just checking mine right now, and I'm pretty sure mine I get some. I mean,
What do you have?
my Facebook
do you
stuff.
have a HTC or?
Nexus 4. Oh, my Nexus 4.
You won't have updates then. There's a whole
No, you won't get updates, but
no, you won't even have
get
data.
updates.
There's a whole kerfuffle where Facebook didn't want Google to have to download the content. Like Facebook like to control all the content, the pictures, the information, and Google wanted to be able to download that information, and Facebook didn't like that, and so they had a headbutting, and they kind of didn't allow it. But if you go with many of the other OEMs or manufacturers, they'll have their own agreements with Facebook that allow them to sync up. So, but if you have a Nexus phone, you shouldn't be able to do that.
I was just double checking, and actually, you're right. I don't have Facebook info in my contacts.
Yeah.
Shows you how much I pay attention to Facebook. Cool. Okay, so we'll be sharing this link here. HackSync for those of you who are using Facebook. Like I said, Mark is our resident Facebook expert. And just because I know it bugs him to me to say that. So, but again, a good way to just keep that information. Again, if for those of you who still keep your toes in that other social network, it's a good way to do it.
Still, a lot of people still use it, right? So.
Okay, so let's take a look here. Next up, it's my turn next. We're doing this reverse alphabetical thing, I think. My app, for those of you guys who follow me a fair bit, you know that I am a cloud guy. I do like my cloud apps. So I'm taking a little bit of a different turn on the cloud app. And this is something that actually Sylvain kind of got me turned around on one day as I was, going to my computer. I may have a lot of stuff in the cloud, but I take a lot of photos and a lot of other files I work on. So I needed something to really back up my full computer. So I used a service called Crash Plan, and I got it on sale for about $75 for the year. But it backs up everything from my computer to the cloud. And I just thought it was sort of it's great for that. Great for that one thing only, of just making sure I have a backup somewhere if I shouldn't want to get it. I forgot I had an Android app. So let's just take a look at this Android app. I don't know if you guys can really see this too well. This isn't making it. If I make it big, I lose it, eh?
Just go full screen.
So Crash Plan. There you go. So Crash Plan, which was nice. I actually got to use this the other day. I was at a funeral. I was working on a file in remembrance, and the file I wanted was back at home. I didn't save it to the cloud yet, but I knew Crash Plan backed up everything, so I could just go out into the Crash Plan, check my computer, and which folder was it in? It was on my desktop. I was working on it. So again, stuff I wasn't automatically syncing with my other clouds. Crash Plan automatically was syncing for me. So I was able to just grab it, download it, and get working on it what I needed to. So it was a great little app. So that's what I'm going to use is Crash Plan. It does cost to use Crash Plan, but it's an unlimited backup service for your computers out there, and it really works well. So Crash Plan is my app. So vote for me because I won last time, and Crash Plan can save your life.
It can, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And last but not least, let's deal with Cass Morrison.
Okay, so let's see what. So the app that I chose this week is Mighty Text. I do have I have a Wi-Fi tablet, and in our household we tend to use texting instead of any of these chat applications. We both have unlimited texting, and of course we're buddies in our group plan, so we can text anytime. With Mighty Text, what it does is it links your phone to any device you want, including your desktop. So I have it linked to all my tablets. And I found that it really is a handy device, handy app. I was going to go with something else. I just didn't know how well it would work, especially since it's free. But it works really well. I've noticed if I've had my phone sitting next to me that the text does come across to my tablet pretty well instantaneously, and it's worked really well. Why are you smirking, Mark?
Oh, don't worry. We're just enjoying the.
Don't mind us.
Document.
So, anyways, it's a really good app. I recommend it. Wi-Fi tablets are definitely the way to go. Why get a second data plan? And this extends the use of your phone over to your tablet. So that's my app. Vote for me. You will find it very useful.
All right. So, Mighty Text. Okay, so again, I'll be sharing this out on our Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Again, if you like it, guys, give us a +1, give us a like, give us a retweet, and we'll know next week who the winner is of the App Coliseum. Okay, and that basically comes to the end of our time on this Android Coliseum Hangout, number 27. We thank you so much for tuning in with us, guys. Well, I mean, stick around. We're going to turn the on-air portion off, and we can actually start chatting with each other. And you guys can join in anytime you want. What was that? Sorry?
All the juicy details can come out off air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all the stuff we didn't want to say on air. You know, stuff like that we might have embargoed or whatever. But again, I appreciate you guys. Stop it. No rumors. Okay, so anyways, guys, let's just sign off here for now. We'll catch with you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us on AndroidColiseum.com, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Google+. We want to hear your comments. We want to have a discussion about Android. Okay, so let's do our sign off. We'll start with Cass, the new happy owner of an S4. And we'll work our way down the side.
Happy. I don't care what anybody says. Just like you shouldn't care about all those naysayers about your device. Hopefully you bought something you love and you'll be able to use it for a long time. See you later.
Mark?
Thanks for stopping by and listening in, and hope to see you guys next time.
Sylvain? Have you back?
It's all good. And I'll do an unboxing review of my Galaxy Nexus next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing like retro. Retro is hip again, right? Okay, Tom?
Vote cheeseburger.
I gotta admit, I've already +1. I've +1 the cheeseburger app. I've given it that thing, so.
Hold on, guys.
Okay, so. Yeah. And I'm Ryan Moore from Android Coliseum. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us on the blog. Catch us on the net. Just love to have a discussion with anybody about Android devices. See you guys next week.